Hello you guys, welcome back to another video. It's currently the new moon, and so I was just feeling like I wanted to pull something for all of us. Whenever you're watching this is totally fine. Trust that it's finding you when it's supposed to, so if it's not a new moon, this message is still definitely for you. I think I'm going to pull cards similar to what I did for our most recent Lunar Devotions offering, which if you don't know, it's an offer that I, at this point, have just recently started. It's basically like a workbook for the new moon, and it comes with a reading from me. And so I think I'm going to go off the structure of the reading that I did for that because I really liked the flow of that. So I think I'm just going to apply that to kind of a collective energy for all of us. So I'm going to be using my Spiral Tarot deck, my Goddess Oracle cards, and my Dreamgate Oracle cards, and we'll just see what we have. Alright, let's see. Interesting. Just to start out, I kind of went through this flow in my mind of like, okay, what are we like leaving behind? What energy or like themes are trying to come in? And then what version of ourselves can we step into or embody moving forward that will be the most supportive? So when I was focusing on what's being left behind, we got the Emperor. And so I feel like, to me, this feels like releasing any rigidity, anywhere where it feels like we're forcing things to happen or like making things happen just because we feel like we're supposed to. So you may be feeling like you have this list of things, depending on when you're seeing this, if it's around the new year, like I think it's kind of like expectations versus like, or not expectations versus anything, but like expectation of the world and of others or of society versus what you actually care to achieve or what would feel fulfilling for you. And so I think there's a need to release or just move on from anything that feels rigid, anything that feels overly structured, or like if you really are having to force yourself to do something or get behind an idea or be overly disciplined with yourself, I think it would be a good time to reflect on that and see if it's something that can be moved on from, but if it's not, like maybe if there's a different way to go about it that would feel less intense and less like a chore almost. And then for the next energy that we were focusing on, again, it was like kind of themes that are trying to come through if we make that room. And we had the Fool card come out here. And I love this because it's like new beginnings, learning to trust yourself again. So I feel like it's one of those things where if you can release, then you're leaving room for your intuition to expand a little bit more. You're leaving room for new ideas to come in, new interests to come in. Maybe also some of you have been feeling like your third eye is a little bit blocked also. So leaving space for yourself to be open for messages from your guides, from the universe, or even just kind of hearing your own thoughts, you know, quieting that noise so you can really hear from yourself, check in with yourself. It's kind of like if you're someone who wants to be meditating every day, not meditating from like a structured place of like, I'm just trying to check this off of my list, maybe reapproaching meditation using that same example as like, I'm doing this because it's important to me. I'm doing this because it makes me feel good. I'm doing this because I have a certain energy or intention that I'm trying to more deeply connect to at this time. So just kind of using wherever you're at in life is kind of like a launching pad, but soft and more of like a redirect. And it doesn't mean that you have to, it doesn't have to be dramatic. You don't have to cut all of these ties and be aggressive about it. It can just be like, you know what, I'm going to energetically reset myself in some way, whatever that means for you, and treat this as a blank slate and do a self-inventory and figure out what you are wanting at this time. And maybe asking for guidance around that, or looking for, like, listening, like using your senses to guide you forward instead of what the next steps are that you think you should take because of steps that somebody else has taken, or just, again, what the world is making you feel like you should be focused on or achieving or checking off of your to-do list. And then for our last like tarot card for now, again, this is like kind of energy to embody, and we actually have the Princess of Pentacles coming up here, and I really loved this because Pentacles are structured, they are real life, they are productive energy, but the Princess of Pentacles is more about kind of like, I always see her as like starting to finally entertain those thoughts, of finally like showing up in the physical, supporting an idea that was always just an idea, and now you can learn or start taking steps. And again, it doesn't have to be this, I'm changing my whole life. It can just be like, I'm going to take practical steps that are in tune and aligned and feel so self-supported and feel exciting to me. I think especially the Princess of Pentacles being paired with the Fool feels very much like, it just feels very fresh. It feels very like new energy, and like you're doing something you haven't done before, but maybe it's something that you've wanted to do your entire life, you know? And you're finally like, I'm just gonna put some energy over in this little pocket because it would make me happy, and maybe it's not what's expected of me, but it will be immensely fulfilling on a soul level. All very important things. Let's pull some goddess cards and see if we have any energy that wants to come through there. Okay, we have two. Okay. So the first one that came up is White Tara. This is the sensitivity card in this deck. And then we also have Cordelia, which is the Go Outside card. These are also giving me very much like heart chakra energy, the greens specifically, and these are both very like calming cards and like nervous system healing cards in my mind, because sensitivity talks about avoiding anything that feels harsh, again, avoiding the things that feel rigid in our life. So this can be environments, this can be routines, it can also be relationships in our life, anything that feels too intense right now. For some of us, this is even going to be like substances, chemicals. It's a real kind of softening energy, and again, it doesn't have to be dramatic. It's just making different choices that are slightly more supportive on your nervous system, slightly more supportive of you feeling like you have free will, because we all have free will, and I think sometimes we forget that because we get so in our routines and in our structures. So, and then the Cordelia card is Go Outside. So this is literally like touch grass. Like, it's not that deep. It doesn't, like, this is not that serious. I always take this as like a need to connect. So again, reconnecting with your intuition, reconnecting with the things that make you feel like you're just a human, you know? We don't have to save the world. It's important to use our voices and express ourselves, but it doesn't always have to look the same for everyone. We all have our unique purpose here, and I think for those of you that are feeling really connected to this reading, I think the biggest thing that I'm feeling is just this need to, could even be like slowing down, especially with that Princess of Pentacles energy. Like, nothing has to be solved overnight. You don't have to have the answer right now. Like, reconnection with yourself is going to give you all of the support. Starting new, putting your energy into places that you haven't been putting it, is going to serve you so much right now. And lastly, let's just pull another oracle card and see if we get any lasting information. Okay. We have two that came out, and I love the vibes of these. Okay. The first one that we got is the Believing is Seeing card. This card is about imagination, beyond the veil. It's very intuitive. It also is connected to your inner child. And then we have the Golden Hour, which, hold on, let me finish my thought, which is about positivity, positive signs, positive omens, and just all of that like solar energy. And I think it's really interesting because I associate the Sun card in tarot to the inner child. So these two together just feel very warm, like they feel like a hug. So with the Believing is Seeing card, that feels like, I feel like right now, a message that I continue to get, that I've been getting a lot recently, and so I feel the need to pass it on, is like, you can let yourself be a little delulu. I think with my own struggles and journey with, excuse me, that's some validation, with the spiritual community, I have restrained from being as delulu as I used to allow myself to be. And I think it's because I like to feel like I have proof. I like to feel like I can tell you why or how something worked. But honestly, sometimes just your mindset and your thought patterns is the answer, and it can just be that simple. And so the message that's been coming up is like, there are all of these things that we may or may not subscribe to, right? Like astrology is one example. And maybe you see something that is saying that your astrological makeup is going to be and have a negative impact over a certain amount of time. It's important to, like, you don't have to take everything on, I guess is what I'm saying. And so, like, allow yourself to be your own proof. Allow yourself to, again, be guided by your thoughts that are your individual thoughts, that are your, that it's coming from your crown chakra, it's coming from your third eye. Like, that is where your peace is, that is where your clarity is. And then with the Golden Hour as well, like, follow the positive signs that you're getting, follow what feels good. I also feel like with the inner child topic as well, like, if you're doing something that your younger self would be proud of, happy to do, my meter for this is kind of like, would I think I was cool? Like, if little me was seeing me now, would I think that I was cool or not? Because that's kind of my temperature gauge for that. And so find out what that is for you, and live by that in the areas that you are able to. I truly feel like so much fulfillment and happiness, but also truth in ourselves and authenticity lives there. So release anything that feels really heavy right now, to the best of your ability. It doesn't have to look any certain way. You don't have to be meeting anyone else's timeline other than your own, anyone else's process other than your own. Some of us are just meant to do things our way. Some of us are meant to be the first ones to do what we're doing, to feel things how we're feeling, to express things, to show up how we show up. And Like, someone has to be, right? So that's it for me. I'm sending you all so much love. Please let me know how this felt. Take what works, leave what doesn't, but definitely let me know in the comments below, and I will see you next time.